Hi friends, welcome to July's AI shortcut video. So just to refresh you, we are creating these videos each month and we're just going to go through creating one product super quickly using AI to help support our workflows. So this is just to help you increase the stock in your shops or add things to your product bundles, but it's to give you something that's super low lift but can still be high quality and definitely sellable inside your stores. So for this month, we're going to create discussion cards that go along with the tea party sets that you received earlier in the month. So I'm going to create a discussion card pack for the adult tea party set and for the kiddos one. Now I'll also give you the prompts I'm using, but you are welcome to use the actual card set that I'm creating inside of this video. And I may finish some of the work after the video, but I will include those template links so that you can use those if you'd like, but you can certainly create your own. Now, we're going to be using Canva's Bulk Create for most of this project. So if you want to use this to create other kinds of card products, like discussion cards for other templates we've had, or flashcards or whatever, you can apply pretty much these same principles. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to give our prompt to our favorite AI and ask it to give us actual discussion prompts back. So I went ahead and entered the children's prompt right here into Claude. And I'm not going to go through all this with you, but again, I will give you that prompt in case you want to enter it into your own AI. I also did it in ChatGPT just kind of for the heck of it, so I could see how they treated these particular challenges differently. And then you can also use Canva's native AI Magic Write. Now, I don't know that I always like the results I get from Magic Write as much. In fact, I rarely use it because I much prefer what Claude and ChatGPT give me. But we're going to go ahead and use it for this video because I know some of you may not be using the other platforms, or maybe you're just already in Canva and want it to be easy peasy and not have to actually leave the platform. That's fine too. So let's go ahead and create. And we're going to create a document. Now to call up Magic Write, we just put a slash, and then Magic Write is showing up right at the top of the list. If it didn't, you could just start typing it in and it would rise up, and we're going to click that. Now I'm going to go ahead and swipe the children's prompt from Claude. Since I gave that one to it earlier, I'm just going to copy that over, and I'm going to paste it right in. And then there you go. It gives you these headers, I guess, in case you wanted to use this as is. The headers quite often don't seem to go along with the content that Canva's AI gives me, but that's a whole different discussion. I'm just going to click insert here, and there we have it. Now, I will tell you, Bulk Create is going to require that we either manually enter in every single one of these or we use a spreadsheet. So I'm going to use a spreadsheet because that's much easier. Whenever you copy and paste these directly into a spreadsheet, I'm going to do it right here. Canva likes to skip lines, which just makes it a little less expedient. But again, all you have to really do is go through and delete them. But I just wanted to show you that so you're aware. Whereas whenever I use ChatGPT or Claude, I don't generally see that happen. So let me go ahead and paste these. Yeah, see, those are each on their own line, no skipped lines. Now you see I have this particular, the first row, the column actually labeled question. This should actually be oral, not that it matters. Now, if we had our cards with multiple things, let's say you also wanted to number your cards, and then you also wanted the discussion questions to have categories. Maybe you have, 3 or 4 different categories of types of questions you're going to be using, and you want those on the cards too. Bulk Create can also help you do that, but you would need to label a column for each of those so that you could map it to the card later. So I would put like number and category. Now, because I'm keeping it simple, I only want the questions today. I'm not going to do that, but it's pretty simple. If you ever get to the point that you're going to create a card like that, just make the extra columns and you'll see, very simple. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go up here to File, and you're going to download as a CSV. And I'm going to save it there. And then over here, we have the adult card that I made and the children's. Now, I created this card template based on the actual templates that we had. So these coordinate quite well. And then what you do is you actually make a text box for where you want the new content to go. So where I want these questions to be fed in. Now, when you're sizing these text boxes, you'll want to go and take the largest or longest rather question you have. So mine would probably be this one right here. So I would just copy it and I would put it in here and make sure I have the card set up the way I want. And that's only because if you have a very small text box here and then your questions are much longer, it's just going to make the layout a little wonkier. So this way I can go ahead and make sure everything's situated the way I want. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that again. Okay. And now we're going to go over here to apps. I happen to already be on it, but let me go back and show you. So you would go to apps, you would type Bulk Create right here. You'd click on Bulk Create. And then down here you have enter data manually. That's if you actually want to type in every single question or copy and paste every single question. We don't want to do that. We want to upload the data. So I'm going to click right here. And then it's letting me pick this spreadsheet. This is the one we just downloaded. And then I think it's going to be pretty simple for it to auto match the fields. So I'm going to go ahead and let Canva find it. Okay, and you see where it says questions here. It did figure out exactly what I wanted. I'm going to hit continue. And then here it has all of the questions. I want to go ahead and use these exact questions. So I'm going to say create 25 designs. And then up here, one design created and saved to your projects. I can view the design. And here are all of our pages, all of our cards rather. So then what I generally do is I go through every single card because there's almost always one that just doesn't get placed the way I envisioned it. And then I just adjust them if I need to and move them around. Now, I do want to point out one more thing. Whenever you get this set of card templates that I'm going to include for you, I did create these in 2 different sizes. So the adult cards, and this is the template that I'm using for it. I haven't imported the questions yet, but I created it at 2.5 by 3.5. And that's because adults, I think, generally can handle a smaller card. It's easier. But, you know, kids, they're messy. Sometimes things get thrown around. They need something bigger to hold on to. Plus, I gave it a little bit larger font. So you'll notice that their card is 3.5 by 5 inches. So a little bigger there. You can, of course, adjust it down if you don't want it that big, or if you wanted the adult one larger, you could do that as well. But I did want to point that out. So when you received it, you knew these were 2 different sizes. Now, as far as delivery to your customer goes, if you're selling to someone, if you're selling these with PLR, so you're selling to someone who's going to sell them as editable, then of course you can probably offer these to your customers just like this, and these templates that are card sized. But since you're most likely going to be selling this to a B2C customer, you probably want it laid out on a nice US letter size or A4 document. So in that case, you're going to have to make a delivery. Let's see. You would just need to go to here, elements, frames. And you've seen me do this before. And we're just going to go, let me copy the dimensions here, 3.5, 5. Okay, so you go up to position, you change the width. And you change the height. And I'm going to lock it in. So those are the exact size as the cards are right here. So then you can go ahead and create the layout, the way that you want it to look when you actually put these all into a printable document for your customer. And, you know, you can pretty much lay it out however you want, but then you can just Okay. All right. So then you can just download these later and upload them as PNGs back into your customer layout, which would be this. So you would download this right here as a PDF, and you would make as many pages as you needed to accommodate all the cards you were using. And this would be what your customer actually downloads, is this page of multiple cards that they would cut apart. It wouldn't be too useful unless your customers were using a printer to create these, and most of our customers are not. They're going to be printing out US letter size or A4 documents that we send them. And so that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to walk you through one more time. We're going to do the adult prompts this time, just so you can see it again. If you're working along with me, you can make sure you don't miss a thing. Now, I did have to pause my recording for a couple of minutes there. I was having some tech issues, so I apologize for any blips or bumps or if I'm skipping over anything unintentionally. Let's do this again. So we're going to go over to that spreadsheet and we're going to create another tab. And I'm just going to rename it Adults. And then we're going to label the first column. And again, I'm just going to do questions. And then we're going to go over to ChatGPT and we're going to copy those 25 prompts. And we're going to paste them right here. And then I'm going to download them as a CSV. See that as adult. And then we're going to go over here to the Tea Party template. We're going to go to apps. We're going to click Bulk Create. If we don't see Bulk Create here, we're going to type it in. Click Bulk Create. We're going to upload the data. We're going to click on the file, open. And let's see, it's already auto-matched it, so I'm going to hit continue. And I'm going to tell it to create 25 designs. Now we're going to click up here to view the design. And there you go. We've got our entire card deck. And again, you'll want to go through every single deck you make with Bulk Create and make sure that everything's exactly the way you want it, shift anything that isn't. And then if you're providing these to an end user, in all likelihood, as I mentioned before, you're going to want to download these as PNGs. So normally when we're creating a US letter size or A4 product for our end user, we download them as PDFs right then, but these you would download as JPEGs or PNGs. You'll upload them again, and then you'll drop them right into the frames you made. And again, the frames are really easy to resize by going up to position. I know for the longest time I would try to drag them out and hit it exactly at the right dimensions. But if you use Canva a lot, you'll notice that it's not super precise. You can position something at 2.5 by 3.5 inches, but there's these subtle little shifts where if you're dragging it, it's not always identical. It's very strange. But the thing that really saved my life with this was finding out that if I clicked position, I could just change the width right in here and the height. And so that's how I'd recommend you do it. So that's it for this video. Super quick. If there's a particular AI shortcut or particular kind of product that you would like to see how we can do it quicker and faster with AI, just send me an email. All right. Thanks.